Well, hello everybody. Let's see how many people are in here. 7 people. All right. By the way, I'm trying to find a place where it's not super loud. It is so windy out here, but we don't have a hotel because we're getting on a plane at 11:30 tonight. So it's going to be loud. Let's see. And I'll have to wait for things. Hello and howdy, everybody. Hello, 22 people. How you guys doing? 25 people. All right, we're growing. Good day. All right. Hey, what's up, Nick? Nick Carroll says, I joined the Scott Stokely method last week, started getting caught up today. Pretty excited to start working on the backhand form this weekend. Yeah, everything I'm going to teach you works. What he's referring to, everybody, if you're not familiar, is I do a 6-month online class, Become a Complete Disc Golfer. You can read about it, sign up at scottstokely.net. It is not just a bunch of videos and then like drills to work on or something like that. It is a process that I'm very proud of that I put together where I live stream. You can miss the live and watch the recording, but it's a live stream, and I'm going to give you things to work on. You're going to work on certain steps, and then you're going to participate in a group. And in that group is not only all the other students, but I have 5 trainers that are working the group also, because you're going to be posting videos for form reviews, and I'm going to correct things on your form. And I have a method to teach you how to play disc golf that works in person, and now it works online as well. Just a little bit of time lag because you got to videotape yourself, and then we correct you, and then you go work on the thing you got corrected on. So it's not real time, but it's not just watching a bunch of videos with, that's YouTube, right? You all know YouTube videos barely work. So yeah, excited to have you, Nick. Let's see. What happens when you miss your tee time? If you miss your tee time, you get 4 strokes plus par. So if it's a par 3 hole, you're going to take a 7. And if you take another 7 and then another 7, and at some point you're scratched, you are DQ from the event. So that is what happens. I did that once last year. Oh, this year. I missed my first hole by about 10 seconds. Dave McCormick, behind the wall. What's up, Dave McCormick? This is the owner of Gateway Discs, everybody. I throw 2 Gateway discs, the Assassin for my super flippy shots and my rollers, and I do all my long putts with the Wizard, the gold standard of putters. What's behind the wall? I'll show you. We're in a park, but it's very windy, and I can't go to my hotel because I don't have a hotel because we're getting on a plane tonight. This is Melbourne and Florida, Melbourne, Australia, and I'm going to be on a plane for Auckland, New Zealand at 11:30 tonight. So we're hotelless for the day. So, anyways, I got to go shoot this live stream outside, and it's so windy out here that I'm trying to like block the wind. But every time I get to one side of this big statue, the wind shifts. So I'm doing my best. Good day, bud. Cheers, as they say. You need to come back to Eastern Tennessee to play Sugar Hollow again and Warriors. I'll be back in Tennessee, but I don't know when because I kind of got the next 2.5 years somewhat mapped out. That's the next 2.5 years. Uh, Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, then the Euro Tour, and then India and Africa, then the Euro Tour, and then South America. I am tentatively thinking I'm going to come back and try to play the Disc Golf Pro Tour in 2025. I'll be 55 years old, and I think when I'm 55 years old, I'll be just about peaking at that point. Give or take, but yeah, I'm expecting I expect it to be at my best at, from age 55 to 57. That's going to be my athletic peak. And so if I'm on the Pro Tour, I'm going to win some this time. Living the dream. This is my dream. My dream is to to be homeless the rest of my life. I will be homeless the rest of my life. For those of you who don't follow too closely, my girlfriend and I do not own a single thing in the entire world that's not in our car right now in Melbourne, Australia. Basically, we have 2 backpacks full of stuff. We got rid of every single thing we own, and we just travel. And we're never going to own stuff, and we're never going to have a home. We will just travel until we until we drop dead, which hopefully won't be for a while. Fingers crossed. What time is it there now? It's like 1 o'clock, 1:05 now. Or well, the live stream started 1 o'clock my time. How much longer will I be in Australia? 10 more hours, and then off to New Zealand. Is Japan a go for this year? Always a bucket list tournament for you. Okay, if you've never played in Japan, it's a great bucket list item to have. It's amazing. I've competed in Japan twice, and it's probably my favorite place that I've ever been to compete. It's so exotic and different and amazing, and the people are incredible. I had signed up for the Japan Open because the entire European schedule hadn't come out yet, but it has since come out, and it conflicts with the Japan Open. So I am withdrawing from the Japan Open to focus on the Euro Tour and the European Pro Tour this year. However, we are going to, I think I'm going to spend a month in Japan in April-ish. We are going to follow the cherry blossoms as they bloom for a few weeks in Japan. If you ever watch any anime, you'll know what I'm talking about. I asked Adriana last year, I said, if you could go to one place next year, like in the entire world, like where do you want to go? And she said, without hesitation, she wanted to go see the cherry blossoms in Japan. And so we're going to see the cherry blossoms in Japan. But I'm excited to go too. I probably will play some tournaments if there are some in Japan and do some clinics there as well, but just not the Japan Open. But Japan's the best. Japan's amazing. Got to go there. We are developing our own forum during drill 2. I'm told turn on completely on step 2, but you didn't say anything about your sideways walk up and turn to step 2. Yeah, so keep working on the drills just as they're presented as far as the steps. And there's going to be a video coming in just a couple days where I talk about transitioning into adding additional steps and putting all the steps together. It's a process, and we're working with a big group of people. So everybody's going to be, I got to teach at a certain pace. I don't want it to be so slow that the people that are gung-ho or that have a lot of free time are, like that it's too slow for, but at the same time, I don't want to get so far ahead of people that they feel like they're getting behind. But in a couple days, you're going to get the next transition video. But the big thing about my method, the method that I teach, is it's a process. I don't teach the end result. The end result are those YouTube videos that everyone puts on, watches in slow motion, tries to throw like them, and it doesn't work. It's a process. So you do, if you want to get the most out of what I'm teaching you, is follow the steps. Don't get ahead. Just do the steps I'm telling you to work on. Imprint those things. There are certain skills you're imprinting that once you get the hang of, once you're doing them automatically, we transition to the next steps, and boom, it all comes together. How long will I keep the beard growing? I'm not. I hate it. But last night we were on we had to take a ferry from Tasmania to Melbourne, and we left at 6 o'clock at night yesterday on the ferry. Didn't get in until 5 o'clock this morning. It's an 11-hour ferry ride from Tasmania to the mainland. So no hotel or anywhere to shave, and then now no hotel because I'm getting on a plane at 11:30. I can't stand it. I'm hoping I'm not going to be stinky on the plane. That's my biggest fear. I don't want to be stinky to the person sitting next to me. But I don't know what else I can do. Do the hobo wash in the bathroom at the airport if I have to. By the way, it's the only gray hair I have. I got no gray hair on top of my head, basically. All my gray hair is here, so I look too old when I have the beard. Although, check this out. I got this is heartbreaking to me, but I've worn a hat every single day for like the past 20 years, right? I mean, probably like 24 hours a day. Like I've fallen asleep with it on before. I just always wear a hat. I didn't realize that I had a bald spot on the top of my head right here. It's not bald, but it's getting thin. I didn't realize it because we were taking scuba lessons and I was sitting out at the pool, obviously without a hat on. And next thing you know, the next morning, top of my head was sunburned. Like, what the hell? Who burns the top of their head? Well, people without hair on top of their head. That's who burns the top of their head. So apparently I'm going bald, but not gray, except for my beard. That's going away. Had to turn brightness on your phone up to see the beard you were talking about. Yeah, it's not much. Like I couldn't grow a real beard if I wanted to, but I don't like beards anyway, so that's easy. I tried once and it never stopped being itchy. And I don't know, people with big beards, it always seems like they got food in them and you know, like birds' nests in them and then there's spider webs in them and then they get gum in them and then it's like, I don't know, I don't like it. Not for me. Pickle juice shots to help with body odor. Dude, are we going to go there again? Pickles are the food of the Antichrist. As soon as they start, okay, here's when we know that the Antichrist is coming back to destroy the earth. As soon as they start putting pickles on McDonald's cheeseburgers. Okay, the minute they start putting pickles on McDonald's cheeseburgers, we know it's over. The Antichrist is returning. So as long as that hasn't happened, we're fine, right? Let's see. It bugs me to have even a little scruff. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like having scruff. I don't like scratching up my partner. I mean, it's stubble. It's not. It's like no. Like I don't know. Stubble doesn't feel good against. Well, I can't say I've actually felt someone with stubble. Well, I guess I have, but I've never felt anybody with stubble on their face. And it's like like I don't. It doesn't seem like that would feel good anywhere on your body to have stubble scratching up against you. Unless, of course, no, that's not true. I take it back. If you had a mosquito bite, it would probably feel good to have somebody with stubble rubbing their face up against the mosquito bite, or even poison oak or poison ivy. So I guess sometimes stubble might feel good, but not usually. So I can barely see the screen. Tyler says, tell us a story of the old school days with me, Mike Randolph, and Daryl Nodlin. Okay, the story about me, Mike Randolph, and Daryl Nodlin. Let's see, what can we tell? So there was a time when 3 of the top 10 players in the world all lived in Fort Collins, Colorado. And Fort Collins, Colorado is this like tiny town at the time of like 70,000 people. We all lived there and we all played together. And we were all basically like the same. I mean, we were close enough to be, we're all top 10, right? Like 10 was number 1. And then a bunch of people were like fairly closely matched between 2 and 10. And one of the things we used to do all the time that was so much fun is there was a course on the campus of Colorado State University. And it was a good course. In hindsight, it's like the dumbest thing. Like it was awesome, but there were holes where you would throw blind shots around buildings towards the basket was, right? Like people were getting hit with discs, people were getting hurt, like hundreds, and not exaggerating, according to the school, hundreds of windows got broken because there would be a basket up against the building in a window like 9 feet away from it. But it was a cool course because it wove in and out of the Colorado State campus. The thing about it that was neat was that it was lit up at night. Like it looked like daylight. It was a college campus. Everything was fully lit all night long. So we would on countless occasions, we'd be like, hey, let's get together. What time you want to meet? How about midnight? And we'd get together at midnight and play disc golf until like 5 o'clock in the morning on campus. No one bothered us. Like you didn't need glow discs. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah, it was probably my best memories at the time of Mike and Daryl together was playing at CSU like all night long. It was fun. Like I'm old now. I'd be like I would probably want sleep. but I was like 25 at the time, so I even had more energy than now somehow. They make travel laundry detergent sheets, 50 packs that fit in your palm. They actually work great for hobo showers. Yeah, you know what? I've been really poor before in my life. I've done the wiping showers before. Not proud of it, but they do work. Yeah, I'm not so. Not that here's way more information than anybody wants, but I ain't that stinky of a dude. Like some people, like if they haven't showered in 90 minutes, they kind of start to stink. I got the non-stinky gene, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see, Anthony Edwards, what's your best solution for nerves when you're on the tee and leading the card? Always seem to, God, it's all dark. Always seem to blank the bed with that shot. Blank the bed? What could that possibly mean? Play checkers in bed with that shot? Or do you make things out of Play-Doh? I don't understand. No, what to do with nerves and you're leading the card? Well, first off, like you already screwed yourself up with the question. What does leading the card have to do with anything? Leading the card, trailing, you're 5 strokes ahead, you're 10 strokes behind. Nothing changes. Like you're on the tee pad, you're looking at the hole. There's a great scene in the movie Hoosiers. By the way, way overrated movie. Rudy kicks ass over Hoosiers, in my opinion. But Hoosiers is a big movie, right? And there's this great scene where I only saw it once, but I seem to recall they bring the kids in to the big arena where they're going to play for the first time, and the kids are just blown away by the magnitude of the situation. So the coach makes them go over there and measure the hoops to the floor. It's 10 feet. Yeah, this is the exact same court you've always played on. Nothing has changed. And it's a great scene because it basically what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter the magnitude of the event. Nothing changes. So that's the first thing. Now, as far as I would have to spend like 45 minutes talking about how not to get nervous. There's a page on my YouTube channel that says Conquering Putting Nerves and Anxiety. That'll basically give you a 15-minute summary of my philosophy on how to deal with nerves. My approach is very much based on logic and reason and data and evidence. I'm not into mental tricks. I don't believe in take 3 deep breaths and then try to visualize, white doves or whatever BS like some psychology book says to do. I don't. If it works, it doesn't work for me. I have a very rational approach where if you can rationalize the situation, it doesn't make the nerves go away, but it makes them manageable. Hey, just everybody, just so you know, see these discs right here? The Stokely Universe discs. If you've never seen these artists, the greatest artist in the entire world, Creative Rob, who designed these full-color Discraft ESP buzzes. These are available at scottstokely.net, including the newest one, which I don't have because I'm in Australia. Oh, thank you. The newest ones. Thank you, Jane. Where's the picture of the newest one? We got the newest one, and they're not pickles. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. The next person that says these are pickles, you're banned from my site forever because I hate pickles. I would never put pickles on a golf disc. These are pickle-esque, but not really pickles, so it's okay. But these are available at scottstokely.net. Again, Discraft ESP buzzes from Creative Rob, part of the Stokely universe. But also, check this out. Look at that. See, those aren't pickles, right? I don't see Satan worshiping them and eating them behind them. If Satan's not eating them, they're not pickles. But check this out. I also now have Stokely Universe. Stop zooming in on the pickles, Jane. Jane, I'll ban you from the site as well. Whoa, it worked. Okay. Wow. Jane, zoom in on the Stokely Universe minis. So these are all the minis, full color minis. If you're looking for cool Christmas gift ideas, or you just want like the collection, check them out. Stokely Universe Minis are also available on the site. All right. Next question. Pickle phobia. It's not pickle phobia. I'm not afraid of pickles. I just hate them with every cell of my body. I'm not afraid of them. I could fight a pickle. In fact, if I was walking down the street and I was jumped by 4 pickles, like they're like this big, I'd kick the shit out of them. Like, I'm not afraid of pickles. There's no phobia there. I just think that they're evil. It would be cool if you could record some pictures. It'd be cool if you could add some pictures from your off-camera adventures. Of course, the stories that go with the pictures. Oh, you mean like are you talking about the non-disc golf stuff? Yeah, Jane, if go ahead and go to the adventure page. I don't know if it's possible to go there, but if you can and you find anything of interesting pictures that come with stories, go ahead and pop them on the screen. Yeah. I think the most interesting thing about my life is the stuff that happens off the disc golf course, because we do cool, fun, weird stuff all the time. But my audience that I've built is a disc golf audience who's generally more interested in disc golf stuff. When I can post a tutorial video on YouTube that'll get 75,000 views, and then I'll post a video about canoeing through Canyonlands National Park, and it gets like 500 views. So I know my audience, right? It's cool. I think the disc golf stuff is fun too, especially now. It's a little more interesting. I mean, I just played disc golf in a volcano at Mount Gambier, and then I just went out to the course, the oldest course in Australia, in Hobart, Tasmania. So yeah, so get on it, Jane. Sorry about threatening to fire you, Jane. I'll just dock your pay, but I won't fire you. That would be rude. Gyro Nation says, oh wait, I signed up for your method next fall. Are you going to be teaching it? So if it's next fall, then no, that's going to be Jonathan Nicholson. I have 2 people out there teaching my seminars, my full day seminars that I've been doing for the last couple of years, where it's caps at 6 people, and you're in the class for a total of about 10 hours. It's a full day. Both Philip Bartholomew and Jonathan Nicholson are almost flawlessly skilled in my method of teaching, the process, the step-by-step. Like, you're not going to get anything from my class that you're not going to get from theirs, other than maybe some stories from the old days or something. But as far as the teaching, they're as good at teaching my method as I am, because it's a process. It's a method everyone follows. And so the full day seminars at scottstokely.net are going to be all over the U.S., but I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be over competing in Europe. So if you sign up for the class, it's Jonathan Nicholson. But Jonathan's the best. He's so good. You're not going to be unhappy. Scott Stokely Adventures. Okay, so if you're interested in my non-disc golf stuff, there's the Scott Stokely Adventure page. And again, this was just all disc golf. And by the way, everybody's like, well, why isn't it Scott and Adriana's Adventures? And it's because Adriana likes to not be in she's on camera, she's in the pictures, but she doesn't want to be out in the front. I'm not just holding back, showing her for some ego or something like that. This is what we she's on board with exactly how we're doing it. So don't judge me. All right, so that's the adventure page. What's my favorite course to play in Charlotte, North Carolina? I like Rennie Gold. I haven't played. It's not Nevin. I've not played Nevin. I've heard that it's absolutely amazing. So I can't say that Rennie Gold is better, but I like Rennie's Renaissance Park. The gold layout is the championship layout. I love that course. It is so hard, and there's such a variety of shots, and some of the coolest pin placements in all of disc golf are on the Rennie Gold course. I couldn't speak any higher of it. So it would be Rennie Gold for me. But again, I heard Nevin's great. Can't wait to see you in Wellington next week. I can't wait to be in Wellington next week. Windiest, I believe it's the windiest city in the world with a population of over 100,000 people. Like, it's supposedly like the windiest city. It never doesn't blow there. So I'm going to give you all some good skills. What he's referring to, by the way, is I'm doing clinics all over New Zealand. I think I have 6 of them, 3 on the North Island, 3 on the South Island. I'm teaching everywhere I go. So the clinic in Wellington is going to be fantastic. You'll have a good time. And you're going to get some skills that are going to help you. I'm actually more interested in involvement in pro wrestling. You doing any shows soon? I haven't done okay, so of course I do pro wrestling. Like, who's not a pro wrestler on the side? Am I right? I'm a heel manager. I take bumps. I've taken chair shots. I've had my butt whipped up and down the ring, but I don't wrestle. I manage. And Cowboy James Barrett is my guy. I took him to a championship. I single-handedly, the greatest pro wrestler in the history of Colorado wrestling, took him to a title. That's how good of a manager I am. I love wrestling. I love everything about. I love everything about it. I love more than anything is getting on a microphone in front of 300 people and making every one of them hate me, and want to see me take a chair shot to the head, and then I make them hate me worse. It's the best. It's performance art. If you don't see it as performance art, you don't have to. Wrestling's not for everybody. It's performance art. And if you can elicit an emotional response out of an audience, then you're succeeding in your art. And if you can elicit the response that you're trying to get, then you're good at your art. And I'm very good at making people hate me. Just give me a microphone. Are you bringing a cool signature disc to New Zealand? Yes, of course. I got about 200 discs that I'm bringing to New Zealand. I brought 400 with me to Australia and New Zealand, and I have 200 left. So I will be bringing 200 discs to New Zealand. After New Zealand, I'm doing events all over Southeast Asia. I will not have any discs because we're doing something really cool when we get to Southeast Asia. So I'm playing tournaments in Malaysia, 2 in Thailand, 1 in Cambodia. I'm doing clinics all over Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, hopefully Japan. But what we're doing differently this time, and I'm really excited about this, is we are shipping everything as far as my tour gear and everything else to Europe, to Denmark for the first Euro Tour event. And what we're going to do is we are going to do 4 months in Asia with just a backpack. We're not going to rent a car. We're just going to do it on foot and on backpack. We're still doing all the clinics. I'm going to have like 5 golf discs with me. So I'm still playing those 4 tournaments or more with those 5 discs. But we are going to do the full adventure. And the reason we want to do this is it's such a unique experience. I mean, I've been to Japan twice, but never anywhere else in Asia. Is that if we have a car, it's too easy to go from the hotel to the national park to the restaurant to the beach to the museum. And we decided that we wouldn't really get to experience the culture that way. So what we're instead doing is we've decided it's a lot more work, but we decided we want to be on public transportation, and we want to be on buses, and we want to be on trains. And that way we can immerse ourselves a lot more than we could if we were in a rental car just passing through these villages. We're going to actually be in them. The other thing we want to do is when we're not competing is, I can tell you right off the bat, if you follow my adventure page, you'll see this. We're going to spend exactly 0 time at resorts. We're not resort people. I don't want to be where all the American tourists are, or even the European tourists. As best as possible, I mean, aside from like Angkor and like some things we want to do, we want to go disappear into the interior of the countries and actually spend time with the people that live there. And like, that's what's exciting to us. So it's going to be really, really neat. So we're going to be doing it without discs, without anything. We're just going to disappear. Funny thing is when we went to go get vaccinated, the guy, we're going to Southeast Asia. It's like, okay, this is the vaccination you need. He says, oh, unless, of course, you're going to be spending time out in the jungle. And we're like, yeah, we're going to be out in the jungle. It's like, oh, well, you're going to be out in the jungle. Well, then you're definitely at risk of dengue fever and typhoid fever and Japanese encephalitis and yellow fever. And all of a sudden, there's all these things that, we take this stuff for granted in the U.S. That in the U.S., when a mosquito bites you, you scratch it. But there's still places in the world where if a mosquito bites you, you can die. And it's strange. It's a strange realization that well, this is the real world, right? We're going to places where people die from mosquito bites. Not the ones that get vaccinated, but the people die from these things. We got to take malaria pills for a month or 4 months, I think. Anyways, I don't know. That's way off the topic of your question, but I'll have discs in New Zealand, but not in Asia. How about that for a 19-minute answer when it was a yes or no question? How hard is it to drive on the other side of the road? Oh, I got a great story. This is going to make a lot of you unhappy. Some of you, dare I say, won't like me after this story, but I'm going to share it anyways. I share everything. So it's not that hard to drive on the opposite side of the road. The steering wheel's on the opposite side of the car too. It's really not that hard after just a little while if you're focused, if you're really paying attention and focused. The problem comes is when you start not focusing because you start to take it for granted. We can practically drive in our sleep in the U.S. or anywhere, right? If you're used to driving. So I am leaving the Australian Championships, and it's just, we're on top of this mountain, right? So it's this windy road, this really, really windy road. And I get in the car, and I'm not paying attention. I'm just not focused on driving correctly. So I'm driving on the wrong side of the road. And I come around a corner, and this other car comes around the corner, and I'm in the wrong lane. And we come around the corner, and Jane will tell you this is I'm not exaggerating this. We came around the corner, we slammed on our brakes and went, and we stopped a foot, bumper to bumper. And I'm in his lane. I'm in the wrong lane. And the thing was, when I came around the corner, I saw him in the wrong lane. I didn't switch lanes because my instinct said he's in the wrong lane. And if I switch lanes, he's going to realize he's in the wrong lane and crash into me. So I hit the brakes, counted on him to move. Well, obviously that's not going to happen. He was doing the same thing, except he was right and I was wrong. And so we stopped there, and I look at the guy, and this is what he's doing. He's got his hands on the wheel, and he's doing this. He's hyperventilating, and I felt so bad. And so I immediately, I was gonna I had to pass him. I couldn't even drive around him. I was so close. I had to back up in order to drive around him. So I backed up. I drove around him. I pulled him next to him. His window is down, so I'm right next to him, and he's got the steering wheel hyperventilating. And I'm like, dude, you are a rock star. I'm so sorry. That was all me. I'm like, you saved the day, dude. Thank you so much for you. You're awesome. I feel so bad. At no point did I actually make eye contact with this man. I'm sitting next to him, and all I see is this. And he just kept hyperventilating. Eventually, I was like, I'm sorry. And then I drove off and left him with a story to tell when he gets home. So anyways, it's not hard to drive on the opposite side of the road if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, then you almost kill somebody. His love for pro wrestling explains 50% is hatred toward pickles. Exactly. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to go with you on this one because you said 50%. I'm a math guy. Hey, Scott, can't wait to see you next week. Little Miss Disc Golf, I cannot wait to see you either. It's going to be so much fun. I'm shooting content with Little Miss Disc Golf in Christchurch, Australia. Australia. Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, my God, everybody's going to hate me. Christchurch, New Zealand. Please don't hate me, Kiwis. Going to World Juniors in June and then driving to Boston and Holiday. What course should you stop and play? Oh, my God, this is not even a decision. You have to play Maple Hill. Maple Hill, Maple Hill, Maple Hill. That is the absolute must. I don't know where Juniors is, though. So go ahead and let me know where juniors is, and then I'll have an idea of where you're going to be, and I can even give you maybe a couple more courses. But Maple Hill is an absolute. And when you're in Boston, here's where you have to go, Little Miss Disc Golf. If you like witches, and kind of everybody likes witches, right? You have to go to Salem. Okay? Salem is one of the most unique towns in the U.S. They've completely and thoroughly embraced their witch history, right? All the witches all the women that were killed for being witches, not just women, some guys too. They've embraced it so much that locals are walking down the street, women wearing those pointy black witches hats, but they're not doing it ironically. It's literally just the fashion of the town. There are 25 witchcraft stores where they're going to tell you that, this is a love potion and this is a potion that makes, I don't know what they're selling. I didn't read the labels, but they're selling these potions that they all believe are actually a real thing. And there's witches stores everywhere. They're so into their witches there that the police cars have a witch on a broomstick as part of the logo on their doors. The cops have witches on their cars. Got to go to Salem. It's probably the most interesting place. I mean, just go there for 5 or 6 hours. Could not. You'll have the best time. You'll put on a black pointy hat because they're neat, and no one is even going to look at you funny. They're just going to think you're a witch. Oh, from Peoria. Oh, God. Let me think on this one. You're driving 2,500 kilometers from Peoria to Boston. So there's a lot to do between here and there. I'll talk to you about it in Christchurch. We'll pull up on a map and I'll give you some stuff. Benita, hi. We're getting a net delivered on Friday. How far should be thrown into the net to release the disc? It'll be nice to be indoors. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Basically, you're going to feel, does it come out of your hand with snap or it doesn't? Does it hit the line you're aiming? You'll be able to tell. My theory on nets is this. You still got to throw if you can. I know it's winter, but 20% of the time you still want to be outdoors. You still need to see the flight of the disc sometimes to get that feedback. But you get so much feedback indoors. I mean, I'm throwing into a net that you don't need to see the flight all the time. You can tell. You can tell if you hit your line. You'll be able to tell. You'll be able to tell if you pulled it right or left. You'll be surprised how much you can tell from that. So it doesn't matter where you release the disc. Just throw it close enough to the net so you don't miss the net and break a window. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Paddy Pimblett, and do I enjoy MMA? So I really like Paddy. I don't like the fact that he's feuding with MJF I don't like that because MJF is the single best thing in pro wrestling right now. Well, him and Jim Cornette, those two are my two favorite things about pro wrestling. I don't watch much wrestling anymore. I don't like the modern wrestling at all. But I love Paddy, and the reason I like him is because he is, and I hope he's still doing this, but he's been very outspoken about mental health issues for men. And don't hate on me for saying the words for men. The reason why this is important is that there is mental health issues. There's mental health support for women, and it's perfectly acceptable for women to go get mental health support. And men, even today in 2022, it's not the same. There is a stigma attached to mental health issues. There's a stigma attached to depression and anxiety. It's a real thing. And so when one of the best MMA fighters in the world is outspoken about how mental health issues are real and how scared he's been and how you need to go talk to somebody and just everything he's done in that realm is amazing. If he keeps doing it, I'm a fan. I think he will. I think he's a good dude. So I like Paddy. He also, what's funny is he balloons up 50 pounds in between fights before training camp. I mean, he doesn't put on 25 pounds, which would be a lot. He puts on 50. He gets legit, he's huge. It's a very bizarre He's just a bizarre dude, but I like him. Yes, I enjoy MMA. By the way, a huge MMA fan. I loved. I trained for years. I love it. Never fought for real, but I did a lot of sparring, a lot of roll, a lot of grappling. Um, Never was very good, but I did it for like 8 years. I liked it. Not enough to get punched in the face by someone that knew what they were doing, but enough to get punched in the face by someone who knew what they were doing at 60%, 70%. Hunter, what's up, Scott? Talk to you at the U.S. distance competition. Wanted to update you and let you know your mental game is as strong as ever. Wishing you safe. Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback. Go ahead, if you could, whatever I shared with you, post it. Let's talk about it for a minute. So go ahead and type out just a little summary of what I talked to you about, and we'll go down the rabbit hole for a minute or two. Top 5 courses in Kentucky. I don't know if I can tell you. I can name 5 courses in Kentucky, but God, that's a good question. I mean, Banklick is a super fun course. Iroquois is a super fun course. Cariacas is a fun course. Hobson Grove is a fun course. None of those are championship courses, So my suspicion is that there's a ton of championship courses that are great in Kentucky that wouldn't that I haven't played. Idlewild, which is, I don't know if Idlewild is in Kentucky or if it's in Ohio. It's in Cincinnati area. Idlewild is like on my top 5 courses that I've ever played. So I love Idlewild, but I don't know what else to add besides that. What does it say? T-Boy, the Gamers. Discraft is dropping my favorite band on Friday called Slipknot. You're so happy. Wait. What is? I don't know about this. Are they doing bands? You know that ICP plays disc golf. Just found out. Hey, I got a funny story. Funny story. My funny story for you. Oh, what is this? Are they doing custom Slipknot discs? Let's see. What are those? I can't even see them on here. Oh, let's see. West Side Disc, Putter, They're Killer. Yep. That's from someone. Someone from Slipknot. That's cool. I love that. It's amazing. I mean, look, disc golf's not that weird anymore. And that's not necessarily a good thing. It's both. It's great that it's become mainstream and popular and accessible to everybody, and that we're respected, and there's way more ways to make money, and we don't fight cities to keep courses in the ground or to get them in to begin with, and like kids don't get picked on in school if they're a disc golfer. It's a lot of great things about being mainstream, but it's also cool when we were counterculture and punk rock and or part of the hippie culture, and like we were, I don't know. I kind of like the fact that we were weird too. It's not. We're mainstream. I'll tell you all a quick story. First band to play disc golf was Van Halen. Back in the early days, when there was one course in the world, Oak Grove Park, David Lee Roth lived on one side of Chavez Ravine, and Van Halen's lived on the other side of the ravine, and they would sometimes actually set up and play at Oak Grove Park. And this is like in the late 70s or mid to late 70s. They played frisbee golf. I mean, it wasn't their passion, obviously. It wasn't their thing. But everybody in the park, it was a party park. Everybody that went down there to party played once in a while. So I believe that Van Halen's the first course ever to play. blank. I think it's about to switch over to the fancy screen. Jane, don't make me dock your pay again. Don't make me dock your pay in front of everybody. I'll be embarrassed. You'll be embarrassed. I mean, it's just, don't make me. I'm in docking pay mode. You've left me no other choice. You're now docked 1 day's pay. You want to go for 2? 3? Oh, the sound's messed up. Oh, okay. So then, okay. So what you did hear is me threatening to dock Jane's pay this whole time. But apparently, now that it's fixed, I'll cut her some slack and say there was a technical error. Actually, she actually manages the money. I hate money. Money sucks. Money's a pain to deal with. I like making money, but I don't like dealing with it. So I don't have to pay any bills or manage any of that stuff. Okay, going to play Mount Gambier when you fly from the U.S. to visit family. Did you play all the layouts? If so, which is the best? Okay, so here's what I would do if I were you. Get with the locals. I didn't play the short layout. The short layout looks really fun, but the pro layout is a championship layout. Unless you're a brand new recreational player, I would play the real layout, the championship layout, but you're going to need to talk to the locals to do it. There may be, I'm sorry, up on UDisc, and you can follow the layout that way. I never checked, but you'll have more fun if you play with the locals anyway. So just go to the Mount Gambier, contact Stephen Fox on Instagram. There's a great starting point, and just have them show you the course. Oh, and by the way, if you're, let's see. Have I thrown any Lone Star discs yet? I have, and I can't tell you which ones I've thrown. I take that back. I've thrown the penny, which like is a really cool disc. It's an understable putter, beadless putter. What's cool about the penny is it's actually understable at slower speeds, which very few discs putters are. Which means when you throw it, like a little short shot, like a long putt, it'll actually turn in the air, and it has almost no fade. So as it starts to turn, it'll keep its turn. It's a neat disc. I also threw distance at the National Amateur Disc Golf Championships with Lone Star discs, and some of their Facebook drivers. I'm so sorry, but they're really good. Nothing but good things to say about Lone Star and everything they're doing out there. It's funny because when they started up, I kind of just took it with a grain of salt. I wasn't that excited about it. They were new, right? I mean, every disc company, when they're new, then no one starts making great discs right out of the gate. And so they were new and they were learning, and it didn't seem like they were that into the sport because I thought their hot stamps weren't very good. Like I just, didn't think they were fully bought into it. And so I just kind of like put them out of my mind. And then all of a sudden, within a year, it's like they got a ton of molds, good discs, good players throwing them. Their hot stamps are good. Their plastic is second to none. I mean, their plastic is phenomenal. From all accounts, they're very consistent. So their molds are, their discs are being made from one run to the next, have gotten consistent. And like, I don't know, all you hear is good things about them now. So Lone Star's a player. They're the real deal. They're a great company. I've also met the owners, Terry and Travis, and they're great guys. I like them a lot. Did I ever play Otter Creek? Of course I played Otter Creek in Brandenburg, Kentucky. Got put in the 70s. All these old courses I've played. Otter Creek's fantastic. It's a perfect example of an old-fashioned course. It's a great course. It's dated because the modern game, everybody can throw twice as far as the holes out there, right? But it's still a good course. Yeah, Brandenburg's awesome. I actually shot my instructional DVDs. I released instructional DVDs around 2000 on how to play disc golf, and I shot some of the footage at Otter Creek. So if you watch my old DVDs, you'll actually see some Otter Creek holes in there. Will the second book be out anytime soon? Let us know when you can pre-order. You'll be first in line. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Amy. It will come out. There is so much work involved in writing a book. Oh my God, you have no idea. Basically, like a real author could probably write a book and then have it edited, and then now they have a book. I'm not a real author. I'm not a real writer. My co-author, Aaron Rath, is a fantastic writer. We collaborate on it, but it's still ultimately me telling the story and writing the story. And the first book I wrote, and I believe it went through 6 complete rewrites. So I spent an entire year going through the entire book, rewriting it. Every time it got tighter, every time it made more sense. Every time I did a rewrite, I got rid of the boring stories, or I connected the dots. This thing here in chapter 5, I kind of reference it in chapter 22. Well, then I need to go back to chapter 5 and foreshadow what's going to happen in chapter 22, right? That makes a more interesting story. The more you kind of build these bridges between parts of the story, like that took a year of just rewrites. But it's good. I mean, I'm proud of it, but that's what it took. So the second book, the first draft, is basically done. But I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's going to be at least a year before I'm done, before I have something that I am proud of, that I want to put out. But it's out there. By the way, it's going to be a little bit darker. I had some very good years away from disc golf. I had some horrifically bad years, and I'm sharing it all. So it's a lot. There's parts of my life I'm not proud of. There's parts of my life that I do so much of the things I do in the world with the special needs and all these things. A lot of it is still a remnant of me wanting to make sure that I'm square with the universe, that when I had some bad years, that I'm able to give way more back to the world than I did when I wasn't doing well. And so like those bad years led to these very good years, but it's all in the book. So it'll be a good book. It's different. Listening to the book a second time now. I love the history. Thank you so much. I appreciate anyone that is appreciating the book. Thank you. If you had to choose between having your throwing arm amputated and eating an entire jar of pickles, what would I choose? I would have my throwing arm amputated. That's easy. It's not even a decision. Come on, stop pitching me softballs. Questions like that I could answer in my sleep. Eric Fickey. You just bumped into Johnny McRae on Monday. I found his mini marker he had lost, and I picked it up thinking I found a disc golfer signed mini. Nope, it was his. Yeah, Johnny's great, right? He's such a nice guy. I love him. Him and his wife they're just lovely. They're a great part of the sport. Oh, guys, so I'm going to be on here. We're going to do this one. We're going to call it after about an hour because it's freezing out here. But it's we're going to keep. Oh, I got a good question coming up. But I am going to keep doing these live streams. If you want to keep these live streams going, if you're having fun with them, which I hope everybody is, we'll discuss some design and buy some stuff because this is the kind of what I'm promoting. We'll also, my classes, disc golf classes, help spread the word, sign up and all that. But that's kind of like, they're tied together. I mean, I'm having fun doing it, but this is also my business. And, generating sales from this is, it's a free live stream, but I'm, that's how I'm kind of monetizing the whole thing is hopefully turns into sales. The other thing is tell people about the live stream. If you're having fun with it, tell people. I posted before to announce it, share it to your page, tell everybody that there's this thing that's fun. If you think it's fun. And if you don't think it's fun, you probably wouldn't be here. So I hope you find it fun. Long-term damage a sport does to one's shoulders, please. Okay, so I have a pet peeve against people who try to act like they're doctors when they're not doctors. And they speak out of turn because they have some knowledge in some area, so therefore they're experts in like physiology. So I won't do that. I can't do that. I will tell you anecdotally what I've observed, and you can draw your own conclusions from that. So I believe that with proper technique, and this, by the way, is the technique that I teach on my classes, my seminars, my online classes, clinics, I believe that you could throw backhand with proper technique your entire life and never have physical issues from it. This is based on the fact that I know people that have been playing disc golf for 50 years. A number of people, a lot of people. These are my people. The ones who have good technique, they don't hurt when they throw beyond the fact that everything hurts because they're now 70 years old. But the throwing didn't damage them. Backhand slow impact. I don't think you should ever hurt. Sidearms, not the case. When you throw sidearms, even with proper technique, just again, what I've observed is that this tendon right here in the elbow and your rotator cuff, and there's the bursa sac right here, but on the outside of the shoulder, both of those can hurt. So unlike the backhand, even if you throw with proper technique sidearm, it's a higher impact motion on your body. So I do not believe you could throw sidearms your whole life and have it not hurt. Now, hurt is not the same as injured. I don't believe you ever need to have a shoulder injury. Something that prevents you from playing, something that's chronic, something that gets worse when you do the sport. I believe it can hurt and be sore the same way, if you run a marathon, you're going to be sore. It doesn't mean you're injured. But those are the two things, even with proper technique, can still hurt. What I like to do when I teach my classes, I express this too. I say backhand should never hurt you. You're doing something wrong if your backhand's hurt. But I say sidearms can hurt. But as part of my teaching, the way I teach, after I go through how I teach the sidearm, the mechanics of the sidearm, including contradicting like a bunch of bad information out there, when I demonstrate, when I'm live, I will say to everybody, this is not going to be about, ooh, look how far his sidearm flew. Because everybody's seen sidearms fly far. And I can throw with bad technique really far. I've been doing this a long time. I can throw far wrong. What I say to look for is, watch how slowly my arm goes. When I throw, my arm's just going to do this. You're barely, my arm's barely going to move. And then I step up and I throw a 450 or 500 foot sidearm. And everybody's like, holy cow, I've never seen a sidearm fly 500 feet, or if they have, not in person or something. But what I say to them is, I say, what should be impressive about that throw was how that was not impressive at all. Like, I didn't do anything where you're just like mesmerized by this physical accomplishment. Like, watch how fast his arm went. I didn't do anything impressive because of the way I teach disc golf, because the technique that I teach. This little motion right there, the disc flies like 500 feet. So the point of that all is that even though I believe your elbow and your shoulder can still hurt, because you're doing such a low impact motion and can get such good results with good technique and still throw really far, that you should hurt very little. But that doesn't mean that your elbow and shoulder still can't hurt on the sidearm. I've not figured out how to make it completely never sore. A professional baseball pitcher, just because their elbow is sore and after pitching a game, doesn't mean they threw it. It's just that's a higher impact motion on the arm. So sidearms can hurt, but they shouldn't hurt much because with good technique, it's a very smooth, extreme motion, or at least you only have to use that really hard throw twice around, which 2 times probably ain't gonna. As opposed to bad technique where every single sidearm you're putting everything into it and you're snapping your shoulder and elbow. Like, that's bad. So long answer to your question, but it's relevant. Favorite in the Bowling Green area? I like Lover's Lane, Hobson Grove, Kariakis, and there were more, weren't there? I like all of them. I mean, I played a lot of golf at Kariakis when I lived in Bowling Green. I think Hobson Grove is a little bit more interesting because it It's wooded and it's a challenging, like crazy woods course. It's also the weakest part of my game is those little finesse shots. Not anymore. Now I can take a berg, throw a berg sidearm and pretty much put it on a dime through the woods. But back in the 90s when I was living in Bowling Green, I was not very good at finesse shots. I was not a good finesse player at all. So Hobson Grove has helped me a lot. So probably Hobson Grove. Have I been to White Birch in St. Louis? I don't think so. I may have and just don't remember. I played a bunch of courses in St. Louis, but I can't tell you their names. I know I played one course that was like the oldest course in St. Louis, a little 9-hole that Ed designed that I thought was really fun. The best pros and cons of the sport since I started. The pros are basically everything except for one. Like every single thing about the sport's better. Every single thing, in my opinion, other than one, is better than it used to be. I mentioned pet peeves earlier. I only got a few of them. I can't stand older people who automatically think everything was better back in their day. Like, oh, everything was so much better when I was younger. It's like, no, it wasn't. Like, it's better to be younger. And when you're younger, you feel better. You have more energy. You get more excited. Of course, you think music was better back in your day because, like, everything sounded better when you were younger because you were younger. So, like, I will never be that person that says, oh, it's better back in my day. It's not. The sport's phenomenal right now. There is one thing, though, that is not as good, for sure. And that is the family back in the old days. It's nothing like that today. And I know there's still this whole family kind of feeling, right? Because, like, there is still this camaraderie among disc golfers. You can still go to a new town and post to Facebook, I'm in town, and people will come out and join you for a round. And you can still go to a tournament and, crash at people's houses. I mean, all that stuff's still there. And it's a really great thing about our sport. But it was more back in the old days. Because the thing is that back in the old days, basically everybody that played the sport was a misfit at some level. We were all weird because we all did this thing that no one else in the world did. Nobody understood why we played Frisbee golf except for each other. Our parents didn't understand, our friends didn't understand, our bosses didn't understand, usually our spouses didn't understand. So there was this shared suffering in a way where, like, we were the only ones in the world who could understand each other. Because I love this thing more than anything else in the world that I'm so incredibly passionate about. And everybody's like, why are you passionate about this thing? You go to the park and there's no one else in the park even playing this game. You're out there by yourself. How can you be this passionate? And then you go to a tournament. Like, I flew to tournaments where I would fly to a tournament. First place in the pro division was less than the cost of the airfare to get there. Never mind food and missed work. Like, there were tournaments where you couldn't even break even if you won the tournament. Like, why would anybody do that? And it's like, well, we all understood. No one else in the world did. So there was this camaraderie back then that it's just, it'll never be the same. Like, and it's something that I miss. And I'll say one more thing about this. This is a big reason why I'm traveling around the world right now, doing disc golf around the world, is I want to go to places where that's the way it is. Australia is kind of like that. I mean, Australia is like, it's not like disc golf in the 70s or something like that, but it's basically like disc golf in the 90s. It's growing in popularity. More and more people have heard of it. But you go out to a course and the course might still be empty, and not everybody in town has ever heard of this game. And so, like, I bet that people in Australia still have to lie to their bosses about why they need Friday off. Because if they told them they were playing a disc golf tournament, the boss would be like, yeah, no, you can't have the day off to play a disc golf tournament. So there's other places I'm going to be going to where there's like 1 or 2 courses in the whole country. That is going to be like when I started. And so I'm really excited to get to go back in time to these places where it's weird again. And the only people that play are misfits. And the only people that understand the people that play are the, like in their country, are the other 9 people that play at that course. And so I'm really excited to get to relive and experience some of that. But everything else is better. I honestly, like, there's nothing else about the sport that isn't better now. What am I bagging as a 6-speed? Well, it's just the low double-digit speeds. I like the Lutz, I like the Stall, and I like the Assassin. By the way, all 3 available at scottstokely.net. Thank you, Eric, for allowing me to plug my discs. But all my Tour Series discs are the discs that I throw. So my overstable disc is the Stall. I also like the Felon, which I don't sell in my store, so I'm not, only plugging stuff I sell. I like the Felon also, but I love the Stall from Castoplast. I love the Lutz. Castoplast is a little overstable. Lutz is a little bit understable. The Assassin from Gateway is really understable. They're not 6 speeds, but they're my single-digit speed discs. Hey, Scott, first time catching you live. Well, hello. Greetings from Finland, 5 a.m. here. Beautiful. That's awesome that you woke up just to see me live. That's really cool. I'm going to be in Finland a bunch. I think I'm scheduled, to play 3 or 4 tournaments next year in Finland. I cannot wait to go play in Finland. It's just, everything about it just seems incredible. Like the amount of people that come out and the galleries you guys get and cultural acceptance. I mean, it's like your national sport there, it seems like. And if it's not the national sport, it sure seems like it from the outside based on how many courses you have per capita. Like, it's amazing. I can't wait. All right, I got 20% battery, so I can stay on a little bit longer if there's more questions coming in, but then I will be out of battery in not too long. How's the pie? The pie. God, I think that just went over my head. I like it 3.14 times as much as cake. I don't understand the question, but if you clarify, I'm happy to answer. You learned to play disc golf in South Bend, playing all the courses around there. I heard the World Championships were played on those courses in 1996. Did I play that tournament? Yes, I did play that tournament. We called it the Pitch and Putt World Championships. The average hole at that tournament was like 270 feet or something like that, or 250 feet. It was so short. And I was such a bad finesse player. I mean, I wasn't bad. I actually finished 4th place at that World Championship. So it's not like I was terrible at finesse golf. But I wasn't, it was the weakest part of my game. I didn't stand a chance out there. Like, the fact that I finished 4th was probably actually an accomplishment. Because it was, I didn't get to do what I was good at all the whole tournament. There was 2 long holes in the whole tournament. It was really, really fun. I had a good time. I got a hole in 1 at that World Championship too. Hole 10 at Wilson. I threw in. Meat pies are a big deal in Aussie. Such a common question, right? Be how's the pie? Okay, yes, okay. I've had the meat pies. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I love them until I've left Australia. Once I've left here, I might actually tell a different story. I don't think you're allowed to say you don't like the meat pies. Hey, by the way, up on the screen, those are the Stokely Universe full color minis. They're like $10 a piece, y'all. So if you're interested in collecting stuff, check out those minis. Oh, I see a question about my next class. Don't go, Marvin. I'll get to you in a minute. But yeah, these are the full color Discraft ESP buzzes. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up. We've started naming the characters on the discs. So pull up this one, Jane, first. Okay, so, oh yeah, that's the newest one. That is the newest one. We, by the way, we've named all the characters on there. Those are the Pickle people. I don't know what else to call them. They're Pickle people. The guy standing behind is a stander. He would be a walker, but I think walkers have been taken by some other franchise, and he's never walking. He's just standing. So he's a stander. I don't know if that's a real word or not. But the walkers, the standers. There's the mound people. And I think my battery is about to die. Let's jump. But yeah, so Scott Soledad, all my Tour Series discs are there. If y'all buy stuff, it'll make me keep doing the live streams. I'm having really fun doing them, but would love to sell some more Tour Series discs. My phone is going to die pretty soon. When does my next training course start? The next one starts, I believe, a week from Tuesday. So the online 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class at scottstokely.net. You can sign up there. Quick overview: it's 6 months. It's a 6-month class. Everything you need to know to become a complete disc golfer, to be the best disc golfer, as good as possible. It is not a series of videos to watch and then like some training exercises. Though that's YouTube. That's not what this is. It is a complete interactive class. You're going to participate in a group. I've got 5 paid trainers who are experts at my method of teaching. They're so good. Everybody that takes the class has been blown away by how good the trainers are. They're so good. And then myself, we're in the groups because constantly over the next 6 months, you're going to be doing things that we have you do as part of the method to learn how to play, throw correctly, and then posting those videos to the group and then getting form reviews from the professional trainers and other students, but the trainers also, and myself, I'm in there. And then going back out, making the changes that we had you make. That's why this works. It is not just watching YouTube videos. It is a interactive class for 6 months. And by the way, the class is $300, but you can also just set it up so you can pay $50 a month as well. Do I still have a collection of old discs? No. I don't own a single thing that's not in my car right now. Every single thing that I couldn't take with me 3 years ago, I gave away or threw away. Nothing. I mean, this is not an exaggeration. It's like, no, I don't even have a box of photographs somewhere. I got nothing. I don't want to ever own anything ever again, except the stuff I need to survive. I got my laptop, I got my phone, I got the clothing on my back, I got my golf discs. I can't, and then of course like medicine, toiletries, right, stuff like that. I mean, they're stuff you need. But that's all. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I will never own anything ever that isn't that. I'm not going to stop traveling, and anything I own is just going to hold me back. So, it's all gone. I got rid of everything. This is the only way I want to live, and same with her. All right, everybody. So thank you all for checking in, and I'm really excited. I'm like freezing. If you notice me, I'm like rocking back and forth. It's chilly out here. It's like this is summer in Australia. It's supposed to be like warm. It hasn't been warm, but I love all of you. Go to scottstokely.net, sign up for classes, and buy stuff. Tell people about all the discs. Post about the classes and post about the universe discs. And well, you don't have to do that. I'm not telling you to. I'm requesting it. But the more you promote my stuff, the better it is for me. Boy, that's not really a good motivation for y'all to do it. the more you promote my stuff, the more I benefit. Yay, good for me. I still like it. I still want you guys to do it anyways. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will keep putting out free tutorial videos. I will keep putting out free live streams. I'll keep sharing courses that I go to, all the other stuff I'll do. So I'll give you all, I'll entertain you as best I can. All right, thanks everybody.